What about this upcoming fight next Saturday, Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury?
It's pretty interesting fight. You know, the first fight was very close. We also most of the us boxing people in the world seen Fury win more rounds, but the draw was okay. You know, the knockdowns. You know, you gotta give credit to Wilder, and Wilder's got the power, man. That's all it takes is one punch. So, you know, if I had to bet on a knockout, I would say Wilder wins by knockout. But Fury could box, and if he fights smart and avoids those hard punches, he could win a decision too. So it's pretty interesting. It's going to be a pretty interesting fight.
He made a few changes from a trainer to actually might even come in heavier in this fight. I think something like 270. Do you think that's good for him to come in heavier, like just to impose his size, I guess?
Because I know he also said something about he wants to go out for the knockout, and I think doing that, I think Fury's taking too many chances because Wilder hits hard, and all it takes is one punch. I think Fury boxed really good the first fight, won more rounds than Wilder did. So if he focuses on winning the fight, he could win it by a decision round by round. We've seen it a lot. You know, just Ortiz in the last fight, Ortiz was winning the fight, and until he got a little confident and he got caught and knocked out. I think Fury could win the rounds and win a decision. But if he wants to take chance saying I'm gonna go knock him out, well, that'll show a lot of heart, and it'll give us a really good fight. But he's also risking too much, risking getting hit and getting knocked out. So if he does, then good, man. Then that I'm excited. I'll be more than happy to see something like that. A good fight, good knockout. But it's too much chances that he's taking, but he's a warrior, man.
So with your experience, how would you work a corner for a fighter like that wants to?
I would try to win round by round and win a decision. That's what he needs. He needs to. It doesn't matter how he wins. I think a decision would be more than good for himself. And they're gonna do a third fight, so it'll just show that he's just a better boxer. I know he also has a tremendous heart, and he wants to go out there and fight and give the fans a knockout. But he's also risking getting knocked out. So if he does that, then more respect to him. Yeah. More respect to him.
Lastly, Kenny, who you got winning the rematch in February? Wilder or Fury?
Wilder and Fury. I got Wilder with another knockout, in a knockout. I felt that he should have won the first one on a knockout, and it wound up being a draw. And I'm okay with the draw. But when they rematch, I see him winning by knockout.
Both fights have to improve. You can't take the risk of Wilder landing that shot again. And Wilder can't risk Tyson doing what he done again, that's for sure. One thing I would say is what stands out is that the times that Wilder had his success, Wilder didn't do anything special. Tyson switched off. The proof in that is got complacent. The proof in that is what happened straight after. He got knocked down, got back up, he switched back on and dominated the rest of the round both times. And that just goes to show you that when Tyson was switched on, when he wanted to, he was focused, he could dominate that fight. And it's just about concentration levels. He was coming off a long layoff and a lot of weight loss. So that was a telling factor.
Well, what about if someone said the vice versa? It was Wilder who turned on during those two knockdowns, and when he's able.
What happened straight after? He had plenty of time to finish. He was a formidable finisher, and he couldn't get the fight finished. Like I say, if he switched something on, he obviously needs to do a little bit more because he landed the shots. Tyson got back up, and that's what it was. Arguing over milliseconds or whatever, or thinking that the referee counts the 10 seconds, not the 10 count. That's a real sign of weakness to me, and he's trying to build confidence in himself and in his own mind, and probably people around him are telling him that. But he's got a fantastic team, and I'm sure both fighters will improve into the next one.
Well, building his confidence, I remember you saying in the back of his mind, when he does wind up fighting Tyson again, there's going to be that worry that he could be made to look bad, made to look silly.
Of course.
Do you think there's just an equal amount in Tyson's mind that I could get knocked out against this guy who's got a great punching power?
Listen, that's the difference between the two of them. Tyson's realistic. Tyson knows that Wilder has the power to hurt anybody. And he said going into the first fight, I may get put down, but let me tell you something, I'll be getting back up. And what do you know?
He makes his peace with that reality, and it doesn't.
It happened because he's run it through 1,000 times, realistic situations 1,000 times, because realistic gets you supremely confident. And that's the difference. He's not telling himself lies. He's not saying to himself, like with Wilder, saying, no, you know, he should have counted as a knockout. Come on, you had 2.5 minutes of the round left to get the job done. You still couldn't do it. So how are you trying to claim a knockout? The reality of it is Tyson's realistic, supremely confident, and because of that, it gave him an advantage in that first fight.
The rematch of Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, who do you think wins that fight in the rematch?
Tyson Fury between him and
Deontay Wilder, the rematch.
Okay, yeah, that guy Wilder. Now I'm gonna be honest with you, man.
Yeah, last fight.
I told y'all that.
Let's go.
Wilder Fury, who wins?
But
Part 2.
I'm gonna go with Wilder again. I can't go with no Fury. It ain't no Fury. And I think it whooped no Wilder. You know, and I'm gonna tell you that, and you're gonna see it for yourself.
I like Tyson Fury. Yeah. I just think he's a good fresh breeze for our sport. He's a talent. He's the kind of guy, like, I remember if you ever went to school with a real smart guy that didn't study for a test and aced it every time.
Yeah.
We study forever and never get a good grade. He just seems like one of those guys that just his potential really hasn't been tapped. If he stays focused and if he stays, he seems to have had some issues with his head psychologically.
Yeah.
But if he stays focused, it's going to be very difficult to beat a 6'9" mobile man with some great hand speed and great ring IQ, and it's going to be difficult if he stays on his game.
When he fights Wilder again, not having to lose 130 pounds or whatever it was like he did the first time, do you expect him to do even better, or do you think Wilder figures him out?
Absolutely. I thought he beat Wilder the first time. Wilder's a very good fighter too, but I think Tyson just did more, and if it wasn't for the 2 rounds where he got knocked down, I think Tyson won most of the rounds. I think he does it again. I think he has more confidence and more. He likes being in front of a camera. He likes this position he's in right now. And it's going to be difficult to take it away from him because he knows he's a smart man. He knows that he's going to have to work to stay there. And it's going to be extremely difficult for him to get beat because he loves this attention right now.
Yeah, break that down for us.
I think that's a fight that can go either way, you know, and I think that, of course, everybody knows that Wilder has an equalizer that can take anybody out, you know, and I mean, and so with that being a part of the equation, I lean toward Wilder because the one thing that you can't teach is power, and don't get me wrong. And I mean, and I thought that the first fight, I think that everybody gave Fury way more credit than he deserved because of the fact that, you know, he was on that long hiatus and everything, and they took that into consideration as a part of the fight.
Right.
That don't matter.
Right.
You know, and the one thing is this: is that I thought early that Deontay was winning the rounds. I thought he won 2 or 3 of the first rounds, and then I thought that the 2 knockdowns actually made the fight a draw. And don't get me wrong, and I think the one thing also is that he came in too light to fight a guy like Tyson Fury. I think that if he come in like he fought like with Brazil, like at 125 or even higher, I think that he'll do much better. You know, and I think that, but like I said, I think it's still a fight that can go either way. I mean, because Tyson Fury, I mean, is an amazing boxer. I mean, amazing for a guy his size. The movement.
You know boxing. What amazes you that he does in there?
Well, I mean, just a guy almost 7 foot tall. You know that he's crafty. He's real crafty. I mean, he's hard to hit. You know, and then he plays those games. And the one thing, he plays head games all the time before the fight, but most people don't realize it because he makes That's what I'm saying. He makes everybody get sleepy and forget about the fight by befriending them, having them do stupid shit like giving, you know,
like at that press conference.
Yeah. I mean, and don't get me wrong, all that shit is psychological.
And then at the weigh-in, he turned it on.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And when he steps in that ring, he's ready to smash your ass. Like you done loosened up now, and you feeling like, oh, well, he's my buddy. But see, that shit would never happen with Wilder. You know, I think, you know, with Wilder, he's always going to have to be in that mode of I'm going to kill you.
His game phase is over.
Yeah, and I mean, he's not going to be able to play that game. I mean, I saw that a long time ago with him, and it was so funny to me because I had Kevin Johnson fight him. I had Kevin Johnson fight him in Ireland a long time ago, and it was the most, I don't know what you call it, press conference where two heavyweights that came there with animosity and was supposed to hate each other and was going, you know, I'm gonna do this. They're fucking sitting down playing music together. You know, I was like, what kind of shit is this? You know, and I mean, and don't get me wrong, but I mean, I love Tyson Fury's style. I love his character. I love everything about the guy. You know, because I mean, he's a guy that you can root for. He's a guy that, you know, and like I said, he seems like boxing is just something that he does. And it's not like it's something that, you know, he kind of, you know, has to do to fulfill, you know, his life. It doesn't seem that way. He seems like just a genuine guy, you know, and that a guy that you want to root for and that you like.
And my last question, they say in a rematch, the favorite goes to the boxer usually. And in the Tyson Fury and Wilder, Fury's more of the boxer, where Wilder's more of the power. Who do you think out of those two can make better adjustments in a rematch?
Well, I mean, the one thing is, see, in a fight with them two, it's not necessarily adjustments. Mm-hmm. I think with the kind of power that Wilder has, anytime he hit you, any fucking time he hit you, the fight can be over with. You know, don't get me wrong.
But I mean, they've gone 12 rounds now, so they know the different ways they try to get in.
Yeah, but don't get me wrong. He may win 12 rounds, but still, the difference is this. This guy can hit you with one punch,
anytime,
put you to sleep at any time in the fight. Mm-hmm. You know, so that means that Fury has to box better than he did last time. And he's the one that's going to have to be the one that be able to control the fight, because obviously I don't think that he's going to knock out Wilder. Mm-hmm. You know, but I know if Wilder hits him enough times, he's going to knock him out.
Eventually he won't get up.
Right, eventually he's not going to get up. And I mean, don't get me wrong, like I said, and I honestly believe that the first fight was actually a draw. And a lot of times in fights, they give guys too much credit because they go start talking about the history. They start talking about all the other shit that don't really mean nothing, because it was almost like, okay, put it this way. A long time ago, when Floyd fought Garcia, Floyd never got hit at first. Once Floyd got hit by somebody 1 or 2 times, all of a sudden he lost.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, and this is the exact same thing with that fight. You know, it was like, okay, well, Fury went out there, he's supposed to be on dope and everything else. I don't know, but, you know, I'm just saying he was in a long hiatus.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I mean, you have to take your hat off to him, because, I mean, he did do something that a lot of fighters couldn't do. And, but at the same time, that doesn't make him no better than Wilder, because he had to do the exact same thing that Wilder did. They both had to prepare for that fight, and like I said, I mean, it was a fight that which, you know, he just happened to beat that count. If he didn't beat the count, what happened?
Fury switching trainers from the young Ben Davison. He moves on to Sugar Javon Hill from the Kronk Gym. What do you think of that move?
Well, you know, it's not really my decision to make. And like, you know, Tyson knows his team better than anyone else, looking completely from the outside.
Right.
And look, you know, it's not entirely from the outside, because look, you know, I know Tyson. I've spent time with Ben. I've watched what Ben did with him. I was, you know, I think that Ben saved Tyson's life. I think Ben had take the age of Ben completely out of the equation. He was a very young trainer, but what he was able to achieve was phenomenal. And you know, results speak for themselves, and not just, you know, getting those wins in the ring, but the way he was able to relate to Tyson, to get Tyson to become disciplined again, to bring him back from a point when he was at rock bottom. Somebody who does that for you, and somebody who has the ability to push your buttons and get you there, is, I would think, is somebody I would always want as part of my team, whether he's my head coach, my assistant coach, or just there with me. I would always want that guy with me.
Invaluable,
I would say.
Right. Well, again, just you're on the outside looking in, Kev. But I'm just searching for why it could happen. Is it possible the young man was getting too much credit, and maybe doing a lot of media was he getting too much credit, and maybe that's part of what made Tyson not.
Well, I don't think he was doing too much media. He was.
Neither do I. Certainly as a media guy.
He was put in a situation where he was Tyson Fury's trainer.
Yeah, I've seen Ben turn down a lot of interviews actually.
And you know that. We all know that Tyson Fury is larger than life, and he does an amazing job of promoting and marketing himself. And he's the modern day equivalent to Muhammad Ali. He is a great self marketer. So for you to say Ben doing too much media, obviously as his role of trainer, people want to talk to him. Just like they probably want to talk to Tyson's brother. They want, they've done documentaries on his family. I'm sure they interview his friends. They can't get enough of Tyson Fury at the moment. So I definitely don't see that being a problem. And look, Ben Davison's a good trainer, a good young trainer, and he will come again. And I think this year we'll see him working with a lot of elite British fighters. So for Tyson to change his trainer, I think it'll be someone else's game.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because that was just me searching my brain for what in the world could it be. But moving on, without Ben, does Tyson win the rematch against Wilder next month?
Look, I tell you what, I think both guys will be better in the rematch. Both guys will obviously know more about each other. Both guys are coming off fights where, we know Tyson's fight was not a good performance.
One before it was good, at least, against Schwartz.
The one before that, he did the job straight away. There were things that went wrong in the fight. He got hit with a punch in I believe the second round that split his eye open. Well, you can't blame Ben for that. And it was good that they were able to hold it together, but it wasn't Tyson's best work. But I think Tyson is one of those fighters who fights to the level of his opposition. He will, as we saw when he fought Klitschko, as we saw when he fought Wilder the first time, when everybody wrote him off. The bigger the fight, the better the occasion for him. But that wasn't a great performance. Wilder against Ortiz, terrible boxing in the first 6 rounds, just terrible. For a guy who is the heavyweight king. He's got all the defenses. He's got an amazing record. Will go down as probably the biggest puncher in the heavyweight division. Sure, the power finally came through at the end of the 6th round, but before that. He looked very, very ordinary, and he was very much behind on the judges' cards. Now, if that guy brings that performance to Fury, I think Fury beats him easy. But I think I look at Wilder's team. He's got good experience. JD's has done a great job with him throughout his career. Mark Breland's been very solid for him. Experienced guys, they will make the adjustments. There were repetition lead patterns that Wilder did over and over again in that fight that I was going, why? It's not working. Why are you doing the same punch?
In the first Fury fight?
In the first fight. Change things up, and I think as I mentioned before, I think both guys will be better in the rematch.
Will he have to let his hands go more, Wilder? He won't be able to wait him out like he did with Ortiz and with.
No, he will have to punch, and he'll have to try and match Fury's volume. And, obviously, if you're going to let a guy with the boxing skill of Tyson Fury dictate things, control the distance, and work off his long flick jab, and you do nothing, it's going to be very hard for you to get close enough to land that right hand. So, he's going to have to punch when Tyson punches, as simple as that.
Or else you let the fight get away from you.
Most definitely.
And Kev, but ultimately, both guys are going to be better, but who do you lean towards a month out?
It's too early for me to make my prediction.
I don't believe you.
Big fight coming up of Deontay Wilder and a Tyson Fury rematch. Who do you see winning that fight, and just kind of the overall breakdown, if you could?
Man, you know what? The best breakdown I can give you is that both of them went in there and had a great first fight. And I think like this right here, the best thing that anybody can say, insiders and people looking from the outside looking, is that, man, the best is going to come out of both of them. It was a draw the first time. Only thing that can happen is, you can better and better. So I think, each round is going to be very tactical, very smart. Deontay knows that he can hurt him, will catch him. Tyson Fury knows that he felt the power. He came up from it. He knows what it's about. So I think it's going to make it more harder for everybody on both ends, you know what I mean? Tyson Fury not trying to get caught with a punch. Deontay Wilder not trying to get outboxed. So I like it. You know what I mean? So I can't really give you, a winner or a loser, man. I just think that, people might see another draw. Who knows, man? Who knows, you know what I mean? So if it is, it's worth it. You didn't get no boos in the first one. So I think if it meets expectation and it's higher, I think it'll be one of those explosive fights that everybody like, wow, let's go for it through.
Now, see the first fight, and do you have a prediction of the second one?
Yeah, I see the first one.
You're going to have a rematch in February. Do you have any idea who would win?
Well, I do have it. I'm going to tell you this, though. Tyson Fury is a good boxer, you know what I mean? But I never bet against Deontay Wilder. I'm going to tell you the reason why. One punch changed the whole outcome. One punch changed the whole outcome. You know what I mean? I would never bet against him. Because just like Ortiz was beating me all them rounds and just took that one shot. So if I would put my money on it, I would put my money on Wilder. But when it comes down to being a better boxer and all that, Fury is. You know what I mean? If he get caught, he's going to sleep.
If you were like in help of Fury's corner, like if you were instructing him, what would you tell him? Like, what would he need to do to make sure like he don't get touched or lose the fight?
Well, he need more defense. That's what I always tell him. You know what I mean? Once he start throwing his punches, you know what I mean? Boom. I would tell him to hold him, tie him up, get him back into the middle of the ring, start boxing, boom, 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 hit him, tie him back up again. You know what I mean? Don't let him straighten that right hand out because it's bye-bye Blackbird. It's gone.
Do you think it would be a bad idea to like kind of crowd his punches, like fight in the inside to kind of so he won't extend his shots, or do you think you should stay on the outside?
And that's why I said tie him up. You ain't close.
Yep.
You ain't close. Yeah. You can't. Well, see, Tyson Fury got long arms too. He can straighten it out, throw the long shots too. You know what I mean? But let's see if all the coordinator he can fight inside. But see, his arms are so long, so he still got to get extension on his punching power too. You know what I mean? So I would say, you know what I mean, is who get to who first. You know what I mean? But the power guys will go with Wilder. The power will go with Wilder. And that's why I say I would never bet against him. So, you know what I mean? That fight right there could be, like I said, it could be a 50-50 fight, right? But I won't bet against Wilder.